feeling good. I'm feeling great. I hope you are feeling the same. And it is time for the premier sports betting show, the Primetime Ankles. And it's Friday, baby. And you know what? It is that time. And let's go ahead and jump into it. Last night, Thursday night football, Lions dominate the Packers 34-20. Are they amongst the best in the NFC yet? That's a good question. Pretty much right now, I would say yes, because they're number one in their division. They're 3-1 in the NFC North at this point. They've been able to dominate in 2 out of their 4 games as well, too. And, well, we could say 3 out of their 4 games in reality, because let's keep it real. It was sort of a dominant effort against the Chiefs, even though it was a 1-point win. They controlled that game. They really controlled every aspect about that game as well, too. And they had a little moment in the second quarter where, they got kind of tricked, and it looked like it was going to go bad for them, but they utterly dominated that second half, and that was absolutely tremendous. And since that point on, everybody has had a great amount of respect for this Lions team. The Lions last night, they were impressive. They wanted to win this game. They really had the attitude of winning this game immediately. As soon as the game started, it was just absolutely epic the way that they came about their business to defeat an arch rival in the Packers, a team that they vehemently hate. You know what I mean? Like, they really don't like the Packers, and this has been going on since 1933. So that was absolutely tremendous for this team in a growth situation, because it was their 4th win in a row against the Packers as well, and their 3rd win in a row at Lambeau as well, too. So that was huge for them. And this is big because they haven't had it like this where they've won 4 in a row against the Packers since like 50, 60 years ago. So they've crossed that. They've hopped over that obstacle. Okay. It's the little things that you have to do to get yourself to the level you want to be on. And they had a great coach. They had a great speech from their coach last night as well, too. And Campbell was very, adamant about just doing everything the right way, playing great defense, and then having an offensive line that dominates to where you can be very flexible. You can run, you can pass, you can do a lot of things. But I think the biggest thing last night was this. It was David Montgomery, the man who's pictured right there. And David Montgomery had a huge game last night. They gave him the ball 32 times. He scored 3 touchdowns. He got 121 yards on the ground. That's an old school running back performance right there. And I know a lot of people were very adamant about Jahmyr Gibbs getting some playing time last night, but he did pretty well. He was productive last night. On 8 touches, he had 40 yards. That's a 5-yard average a clip. And then he also had 4 catches last night that gave him 11 yards on that. I know it doesn't look great in the stat book, but it helped them move the ball. It helped them continue drives, and that's what it's all about. And people have to understand he is a rookie, so they're easing him into a workload. That's the whole thing. And I know a lot of people are getting frustrated about it, but they have David Montgomery here for a reason. And this is how it works in today's NFL. This is why they don't want to pay the running backs, because when you have a running back getting 30 carries and this is the second game it's happened, usually by the time you get to week 7 or 8, that guy is going to be pretty banged up. So then you have to go ahead and have somebody who's a little bit fresh. So they're looking at them in a racehorse type of sense where, hey, this horse got the hot hand. We're going to roll with him. And then when things start getting a little murky in the situation, we'll go ahead and we'll ease the backup in, because really there is no such thing as a starting running back on this team. It's really about who has the hot hand. And right now, David Montgomery has the hot hand, and he's the veteran as well, too. So you don't want to waste your rookie at this point when you know that he's going to be able to help you in November, December, and January, because he's fresh and he's healthy. And that's exactly where you want a speedy rookie running back to be, because that's when Those games right there are the most important games of the year. These games, every game is important, but the first month is really almost a throwaway in a sense as well too. Let's keep it real. We've seen teams start off 3-1, wind up finishing the season 6-11, 6-10, 7-9. You have to keep the consistency, and that's one thing that Detroit has to learn. And they did very well last night. I'm excited for them. I think that the NFL is a much better place when you have a good Detroit Lions team, because they have one of the better fan bases in the NFL as well too, that truly show up for their team when they are good, and they deserve to have a winner. It's been a long time. And when they talk about the last time they won the division, I was around for that. The Lions were a must-see TV team because they had Barry Sanders, but they had more than just Barry Sanders. They had Herman Moore, Brett Perryman. They also had Rodney Peete as well too, who was a great quarterback. They also had Wayne Fontes, who was a fun coach. So there's a lot of things that the Lions are bringing back to the forefront for me. And I know that that's a good thing when you have the team that hosts the morning Thanksgiving game being a good team, because that's what you want them to be. So it doesn't have to be a doormat game like it's been for the last 20 years. So with that, that will wrap it up on the Lions and that great effort that they had. They can celebrate for a few days, and then they will have to get back to business. And they have the Panthers next week, and we'll be reviewing that game Tuesday on the NFL Bet Exchange.